Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you so much for escaping with us. That's Andrew, and I'm Alex.
And as always, with great power comes great Dune Part 2 ability.
That's correct. I have finally seen Dune Part 2, much to the chagrin of myself and my boycott, but
the boycott is over.
Excitement of most people. We're going to be reviewing that at the end, and because you saw it so recently, we're really going to be able to talk about it.
I'll be able to talk about it a little bit.
For the first time, my opinions are probably going to surprise some people, maybe thrill some people, maybe disappoint other people.
You're very used to that.
I am very used to disappointing people. Ask my mother.
She's disappointed in you?
The only person that never disappoints my mother is you.
There's no shot that's true.
That was a joke.
Oh,
on account of
sexually.
Correct.
On account of me betting her every night.
Correct.
You want to click on that?
Casually.
Yeah. On the reg. So here's the situation for this episode.
Yes.
We're going to review Dune 2 at the very end.
Yeah.
Before that, we're going to review Skeleton Crew, the new Star Wars show that just ended.
Yes.
We're also going to do a fan segment, so we'll be answering all of your questions, all from the patrons.
Yes. It's a nice, juicy,
lots,
long,
big, girthy,
throbbing.
I don't know if it's throbbing. Maybe.
Okay. Throbbing isn't a way we could describe a fan segment?
Frick it. It's throbbing. We're going to do a throbbing fan segment. We're also that's all from the patrons.
Yes.
And moving forward, I think the patrons get to decide the questions.
The fan segments are probably just going to be Patreon sponsored from now on.
Shout out the patrons. Obviously, we hit 1,000, so we will be boxing and kissing. If you want to see that is going to be on the Patreon.
Probably in the next week, 2-week period.
I would give it at the very least 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so hopefully by the end of January, if not first half of February, you'll be able to see that. But we hit 1,000, so thank you so much. So the patrons gave us lots of questions, and it's great. And then the Deborah tier also decided that we are doing a Dreamworks list, so we will be doing that.
Yes.
Our top 10 Dreamworks films. And then we also wanted to remind you the monthly competition where if y'all post a clip of us, a meme, any type of video on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, and send it to us. Whoever gets the most views on a video will be winning an Xbox.
That's correct. And I've got some news on the merch front. You guys have loved the Wicked and the Spider-Verse hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, etc. so much. It's been hugely popular. We're going to get rid of it by February. Now we're going to push that, and the Spider-Verse and Wicked hoodies and stuff won't be going away until March. So you get an extra month. If you were waiting on that or whatever, now's probably the time. And as of today, our Captain America Brave New World merch is officially out.
Yes.
It's an awesome logo with Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Harrison Ford's Red Hulk.
It's pretty sick.
It's a really, really great logo, always done by the brilliant artist Drew Whipple. We've got a hoodie design on the merch store, as always, a t-shirt design on the merch store, and for the first time ever, we now have the most expensive item in the merch store. We've got these new Champion high quality windbreaker, heavier duty, and the logo that's right here on the left is stitched. So higher quality. Some of you guys have been asking for different kind of stuff on the merch store, and a couple people specifically said higher quality, and a couple people specifically said windbreaker. So there it is for y'all.
So you've got a range. You've got the most expensive windbreaker. You got the hoodie that we always have, and then you got the cheaper with the shirt.
Yes,
is it going to be on any of the other like a beanie or anything, or is it just the
just that for now? Cool. Just because Captain America 4, it's coming out so soon, and we're probably only going to do that for maybe a month, 2 months. Yeah. But if you start ordering them now, you definitely will get it in time to go wear it going into the movie.
It took us a while to get into the rhythm of our merch.
But now we've got it, we think.
Now we're into the rhythm.
Let us know if you're having merch order problems, though, because we have had a couple of incidents.
Someone just messaged me, but it was just his package. He ordered like 4 things, and like half of them got sent early, and half of them took like another week.
We're dealing with that problem right now, unfortunately.
Are we supposed to be getting stuff?
Yes.
I texted you to order.
Yes, I haven't done that yet. I will.
Okay. So let's start with the Dreamworks list.
Yeah, sure.
This is our top 10.
These are our top 10 favorite Dreamworks movies. Do you want to start, or shall I?
I'll start. Unless you would like to start. I don't want you to feel like...
No, that's fine. You could start.
Mm-hmm. All right. Top 10. These are my top 10 DreamWorks movies. Now, I want to do a little bit of a disclaimer. Some of these I have not seen in a long time. Okay. I have not seen all of DreamWorks' So this is just based on like what I remember, what meant to me, what certain films meant to me as a child, things like that, what I remember. Some of these I have seen recently and some of them I have not. So at number 10, coming in at number 10, I have How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. So that would be
the third one.
That would be number 3. Now, I have only seen that once. I saw it in the theaters. It is the only How to Train Your Dragon I actually saw in the theaters, and I remember it being beautiful and amazing. But because I have not seen it for so long, I just put it at the 10 spot to be safe. At number 9, I have Shrek 2. A lot of people are going to freak out about that. It's the only Shrek on the list. Sorry.
Whoa.
I know that's going to piss a lot of people off that Shrek 2 is that low, and it's the only Shrek on the list. I am not high on Shrek like a bunch of other people.
Yes.
But I will give Shrek 2 its props. It's
Notorious Shrek hater that you
I know,
are.
I'm so sorry, but it is a lot of fun. At number 8, I have Penguins of Madagascar.
Jesus Christ, Andrew.
Yeah, and this is one that might have affected me as a kid because I freaking love this movie. The one line, "I don't like your attitude, vending machine," is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think the villain octopus, John Malkovich, is hilarious, and I find the penguins hilarious. That's just me. I'm so sorry. At number 7, Megamind. Ooh, a lot of people don't like Megamind, think it's overrated. I do not. I think it's a little underrated. But again, I need to watch it again because I might be lower on it. But I remember it being really, really funny. Will Ferrell, right?
Yes.
And
Jonah Hill.
thank you.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's
Great cast.
Presentation, friggin' awesome. At number 6, I have Prince of Egypt. This is one that I actually saw really recently. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm a Christian. So Moses is lit, obviously.
I think he's more of a Jewish icon.
Yeah, no, but you know,
He could be. Yeah, he's in the Old Testament.
He's in my book too.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So yeah, I really like Prince of Egypt when I saw it, and some of those women are like freaking tall and beautiful and crazy, and
that's exciting.
The songs are really good. So at number 5, I have Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Very, very, very good movie.
Yep.
Has some really good moments. Death as the villain.
Yeah.
The meaning behind it. He has one life left, and he's gonna live it properly, and that's when Death finally gives up. So good. And then obviously, you're a monster. It's pretty funny.
Yep.
At number 4, I have The Wild Robot.
Yeah.
The most recent DreamWorks movie. They are cooking.
Yeah.
And I hope they continue to cook.
Yeah.
They're kind of kicking Disney's.
Took us right now.
Yeah, took us.
You think?
There were a lot of different words you could have put there, and I'm so glad you chose took us.
I got you.
Yeah, Wild Robot was really, really beautiful and really, really good. At number 3, I have How to Train Your Dragon.
Little low.
That should have been second. I don't know if I messed this up. Just because fate and this is what's happened, I'm going to put it at number 3.
Okay.
How to Train Your Dragon's at 3. Obviously, it's beautiful and amazing.
Yep.
We just watched it for a Patreon movie night a couple months
Yep.
ago, and it was a lot of fun. The
Absolutely.
second one wasn't as high as I remember.
Yeah.
But still good. Just not as good as the first.
It's not on your list. How to Train Your Dragon 2 was not on your list.
How to Train Your Dragon 2 is not, but 3 is. But 3 might get the same treatment because I remember 2 being better than it was.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched it. So maybe if I rewatch 3, I'll be lower on it too.
Yeah.
But, number 1 is Kung Fu Panda, and number 2 is Kung Fu Panda 1, and number 1 is Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yep.
Kung Fu Panda 2 is my favorite DreamWorks movie.
We knew that was coming.
Yep.
That was in your top 10 favorite movies of all time a
Yep.
couple of weeks ago on the 100th episode.
Love, adore that movie.
Yes. And do you have any thoughts about Kung Fu Panda 1? You don't want to say anything about your top 2?
I think it's incredible that they improved on Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Again, I could very easily swap it with How to Train Your Dragon. I think Kung Fu Panda is just a little funnier.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon, I'm not really laughing at that much. Maybe once or twice. Kung Fu Panda, you're laughing.
Yep.
And the introduction of Jack Black as Poe and Shifu and all that is really fun. And his origin story is really great. The montage where he's getting trained and the fight with Tai Lung and it has Tai Lung. I mean, the Tai Lung escape scene from the prison is better than anything in How to Train Your Dragon. So sorry. And then Kung Fu Panda 2 just improves on it somehow. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, there's your thoughts for your top 10 DreamWorks movies.
These are great movies.
Yeah. I'm going to go get into my list, and then we'll have discussions about each other's lists because, spoiler alert, our lists are pretty darn similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So here we go. We've got okay, here we go. These are my top 10 favorite DreamWorks movies. Obviously, honorable mention to Spirit.
Okay.
I can't not talk
the
about
horse.
a horse movie here. And then my second honorable mention is Spirit Untamed. Because of course it is. Starring Isabella Merced, by the way. It's an Isabella Merced horse movie. Not too many movies out there describe me better than Isabella Merced and a horse.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then the real honorable mention is Madagascar 1.
Sure.
Yeah. Here we go. My 10th spot is Flushed Away. It's definitely worse than a lot of the movies that I have ditched over Flushed Away.
Doesn't matter.
Flushed Away is fucking hilarious. Flushed Away is so funny. Should have
been an honorable mention of mine.
So funny. I remember watching it as a kid over and over. It was one of those DVD movies that was always playing in our Honda Odyssey.
Yeah.
Flushed Away has so many hilarious bits that I gotta have Flushed Away in my top 10. At number 9, I'm a Catholic, you're a Christian. Like you said, same fucking book. It's The Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
Playing with the big boys now is still in rotation. It's a banger. I really like The Prince of Egypt. I think it's really, really strong. I remember watching it in Catholic school every year. It's beaten by some of the other movies on this list for mostly because the other movies on this list are a little bit more fun. And number 8, I have Shrek 1.
Okay.
I like Shrek 1 a lot. Mm-hmm. As you guys will see, I like other Shrek movies better. But Shrek 1 is really, really strong. It's one of the most iconic animated movies of all time for a reason. We also watched that on Patreon Movie Night a couple months ago, and I had a great time with it, as I always do. Number 7, shocked to find out this is a DreamWorks movie. It's Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah. I did not know that was a DreamWorks movie. That's an excellent movie.
Yeah.
I don't think all Wallace and Gromit movies are, but Curse of the Were-Rabbit is, and I remember watching that as a kid and loving it, and I just rewatched it as an adult a couple years ago, and it stands the test of time. It's hilarious. It's great. The claymation is out of this world. Love Wallace and Gromit. Yeah. I need to see the new one.
Yeah,
the new one is great.
Yeah.
At number 6, I have Shrek 2.
Okay.
Shrek 2 is everything that the first one is, but better. It's funnier. It's a better plot. I care more about the characters. I think everything about Shrek 2 checks a box, and there's a reason that people put it in the category of one of the greatest animated movies of all time. It deserves to be there. Shrek 2 is a masterpiece. Number 5, maybe recency bias. I've got The Wild Robot. I think the world of The Wild Robot. I think everything worked for it. I had some little problems, but for the most part, everything worked, and it just. If a movie makes me cry for 45 minutes straight, you're gonna be in my top 5.
Yeah, exactly.
At number 4, I've got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This movie blew me away a couple of years ago. Not only all the things that you mentioned about death and all of the brilliant stuff about that and the message and the ending and everything like that, but you didn't talk about it enough. It really is maybe the funniest movie on this list. The Jiminy Cricket with John Mulaney character tandem, I've said it on this podcast before, is one of the most brilliant writing choices I've ever seen in a movie ever. It's comedy genius. Number 4. Number 3 is a movie that may have been number 3 on your list, but ended up being number 2. It's Kung Fu Panda 1. Everything that you said, Tai Lung, everything. It's a spectacular movie. It's hilarious. It's great. Can't say enough good things about Kung Fu Panda 1, but like you, it is barely edged out by Kung Fu Panda 2 at my number 2 spot. I think the world of Kung Fu Panda 2 in the same way that you do, and Tai Lung is an unbelievable villain, and Lord Shen is somehow better. And
a lot of people do not agree.
And unfortunately, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I'm not going to kill you for that. Tai Lung's story is Anakin Skywalker, and just Lord Shen is a different. But
I agree with you.
Gary Oldman's voice performance, the trauma from Poe's past, right? Tai Lung is a Shifu villain. Lord Shen is a Poe villain. And that's what makes that movie better. You've got Michelle Yeoh as the soothsayer. She's incredible.
So good.
And it's also hilarious.
I think it's definitely funnier than Puss in Boots. But I understand your argument.
The Jiminy Cricket.
Sure, yeah.
Nothing makes me laugh like that does.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, nothing since this podcast has started makes me laugh the way that Jiminy Cricket does. And at number 1, I've got How to Train Your Dragon 1. I don't have the other 2 on this list for a very good reason. I felt the same way you did when I saw How to Train Your Dragon 2 with the patrons. I was a little disappointed by it, and I have not seen How to Train Your Dragon 3, unless I have that I saw it once and I don't remember anything about it. I think I actually have seen it because I do now remember the scene at the end with him introducing his kids.
On the boat. Mm-hmm.
So now that I think...
It's really good.
Okay, I think I have seen that movie. I don't remember it enough to put it on this list, so...
We've watched both How to Train Your Dragons with the patrons. We need to watch the third one.
We absolutely do. How to Train Your Dragon 1 is a fucking masterwork. And you're not going to fault me for putting this list at number 1.
Our top 3 are the same. We just have them mixed around.
Correct.
I love when we agree on stuff. It's really cute.
How to Train Your Dragon 1 is spectacular. Growing up as a kid, I knew all of the names of all of the dragons. Mm-hmm. I got the lore. I was into it. I read the book, which is astonishingly different than... The movie, like shockingly, and so I remember not liking the book because it's so different from the movie. But goodness gracious, the movie that first movie is so good. And when we watched it with the patrons, I was just like banger. Every scene is incredible. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon is my number 1 favorite DreamWorks movie of all time. There you go.
I am not disappointed by your DreamWorks list. I like your DreamWorks list better than your Pixar list, obviously. I don't think I have any problems with any of the ones that you put on there.
You're obviously quite a bit low on the Shrek movies.
I get that.
Do you consider Puss in Boots: The Last Witch a Shrek franchise movie?
Sure. It's a spin-off, but it's in the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think anyone will rightly have a problem when on TikTok or YouTube or whatever have a problem with anyone doing a top 10 DreamWorks movies and not having Shrek on that. Yeah. I totally understand that's gonna blow some people's minds. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna really try to. That's just me, mm-hmm. And that's my opinion. I think Shrek is good. I just watch it and I think that's a good movie. I don't think it's like, whoa, just masterpiece. That's like, whoa. That's just, but I did want to talk about this. There are 3 movies, 2 of which you mentioned that I also want to tip my hat to. Flushed Away, Wallace and Gromit, and Chicken Run. Growing up, Chicken Run was like God in my house. My dad loved Chicken Run. So I remember really, really enjoying Chicken Run. And then Flushed Away was one of the movies that I think my family just went to see because we were with our family for Thanksgiving or something, and we just happened to watch it, or maybe it was on TV and we just watched it, and we were all like, "Huh, that was really fun," and it kind of stuck with me as a kid. Mm-hmm. And then Wallace and Gromit, another claymation like Chicken Run. I remember just really liking Wallace and Gromit. I assume it was that one that I watched. I've only watched one Wallace and Gromit movie all the way through.
100%. It's the famous one.
Yeah, then it has to be that one, and I remember liking it as a kid as well. So they maybe didn't make my top 10, but I did want to tip my hat to those 3 in particular.
Yeah. I was happy with my honorable mention of Madagascar, but it doesn't hit
correct
the way that other movies in my top 10 hit, and Flushed Away doesn't hit like this, but Flushed Away is so fucking hilarious that it doesn't.
Madagascar is good, and I understand especially when you watched it as a kid, but I watched it for the first time last year. And I was like, this is good. It just seemed old. I don't know. It just seemed, like you said, it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
It's not as impactful as Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a couple things I wanted to talk about. There's a movie noticeably absent from both of our lists, and it's absent for a very good reason. The Bad Guys has gotten a lot of critical acclaim. Neither of us have seen it.
Haven't seen it.
I'm sure it's great. Awkwafina is a lead character. It's a tough pill for me to swallow.
Is she the snake? What is she?
I don't know what the fuck she is. I don't even want to know.
Annoying.
But I'm sure. So
so mean.
So I don't know if I'll ever see Bad Guys. Bad Guys 2 is coming out, and I thought that the trailer made me laugh. So
you're gonna watch it if the patrons vote for it for Patreon Movie Night.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
And thank you, patrons, for voting on this list. We appreciate the Deborah
Thank you
tier.
so much. The final thing I wanted to talk about for our DreamWorks lists is I was making this list. There was a short list of movies that I knew were going to be in my top 10. Right. Kung Fu Pandas 1 and 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Puss in Boots: Last Wish, Shrek 2,
Wild Robot.
I was like Wild Robot. Like it was. 7 through 10 were the ones that I had to make decisions on. Mm-hmm. The top 6 I knew about. Yep. And one of those movies I had in that list was a movie I recently found out is a DreamWorks movie. Robots is not a DreamWorks movie.
Oh, yeah. That's Ewan
McGregor, Robin Williams. They're robots. They're in Robot City.
Yeah.
I was shocked to find out that's not a DreamWorks movie.
It was.
I don't know, but it's not a DreamWorks.
Yeah.
That would 100% be in my top 10. Maybe would be pushing top 5.
Yeah, I think it would come in at like number 5 or 6 for me. Robots is a lot of fun. It's not Illumination. That was later. Was it the same company that did
Blue Sky Studios?
Yeah, Blue Sky. That's what I was about to say. Blue Sky. They did Ice Age.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I for whatever reason, I knew for a fact it was DreamWorks. So when I made my short list, I was like, oh, Robots is 100% up there. I love Robots. It's just not on this list because it's not a DreamWorks movie. But I think the world of Robots.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
That was another one that I watched for the first time within the last year or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's super fun. It's
so
super
good.
funny.
Yeah.
I love the villain, Madam Gasket. I love the commentary on the upgrades and the this and the that. It's great.
Upgrades, people. Upgrades.
Upgrades! That's where I learned the song "Eye of the Tiger" because that's when they introduced the upgrade.
And I want to have sex with the female robot.
Piper.
Yeah.
The
I
yellow
want
one?
to pipe her.
Yeah, you do.
Piper, I barely know her, dude. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
So there's our top 10 DreamWorks movies lists. We're doing the fan segment?
We're doing the fan segment.
Oh, you got to get up?
No.
Oh, Andrew.
I'm a
Fumble.
juggler. I got this. I got you.
By the time they're seeing this, they will know if I'm upset or not.
About what?
The Rams play Sunday. I'm very nervous.
If the Rams lost, I want everyone to just take a moment. Alex is going to be upset, so let's just take a moment as a community, and I want everyone to type L Rams in the comments.
You're the worst. You're the worst. I know I'm going to get some shit talked to. We've got a lot of Eagles fans.
Yeah, on our stream, we did the charity stream last week. Thank you for everyone who donated.
Yes,
and
what a huge success between the two streams.
we $3,000.
Almost $3,000 for the LA Fires, the LAFD,
Yes.
not the LAPD.
No. Very different.
Yes.
Not very different, but different. Yeah, no, thank
That
you.
was amazing. An amazing thing that you did. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of
Yeah,
it.
it was fun.
With doing the podcast stream. And thank you so much for everybody that donated. It went to an amazing cause, taking care of the community that Andrew and I are now a part of.
Yeah.
That was a great thing.
We played Smash, and you cooked me for like an hour straight, and I wanted to die.
It was bad. It was bad. That was bad. We did what was it? I had to get 10 wins before you got 5.
and I got 1 basically.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, it was really
Somebody
good.
donated so that I would play a bad character, so
Yeah.
that was a win for you.
Yeah, but that doesn't really.
But
You
that
had to play
doesn't really
Olimar.
count.
Yeah.
That was brutal, buddy. I'm
And
sorry.
then on my stream, so we did one on Wiffello, and then we did one on the Escape Pod, and the one on the so we total raised $3,000. And the one on Wiffello, we had a bit going where I was playing Fall Guys with a couple of the people in the community, patrons, moderators, and people could donate, and the money would go to a poll, and they were voting with their money. Donating to the Fires to who to kick off my team.
Yep.
So I was with Onion, Spartans, and Middles. And it was just simply the funniest thing that's ever like every time someone would donate, it was like $10 just to be mean to Onion for no reason.
Hilarious.
And I was like crying. It was
Hilarious.
awesome. People had a lot of fun with the stream, so hopefully they'll continue. Ready?
Sure.
Will James Gunn's Superman be better than the Guardians of the Galaxy movies? It'll be better than Guardians 2, I can tell you that.
I can tell you that. Give me some right there. I don't know if it'll be better than Guardians 1 or Guardians 3. Both of those movies are so excellent.
They're so excellent. If it is in the vicinity, I'll be happy.
I've got a question for you about these James Gunn movies. I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt our fan segment, courtesy of the patrons. You say that the Suicide Squad is your favorite DC movie. It's a take that you've said on this podcast before. I don't know if you would hold strong with that. You haven't seen the Dark Knight movies in a while, but for right...
Oh, my favorite DCU movie for sure.
DCEU.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, is it your favorite DC movie, period?
Teen Titans Go to the Movies is pretty good.
Better than the Suicide Squad?
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, I need to watch the Dark Knight trilogy again, but yeah, other than that, probably.
You think the world of the Suicide Squad?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Do you think the Suicide Squad is worse than the 2 best Guardians movies?
I think it's better than Guardians 3.
Nice.
But
you take Guardians 1 over the Suicide Squad.
Just because it's the classic. Yeah, it's tough. But
I don't think there's anything wrong with
they
that.
could all, you could
argue to me that the Suicide Squad is the best one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with anyone saying that.
Yeah. If you could each...
All James Gunn's movies, by the way. It's crazy. We were arguing about 3 different James Gunn movies.
That are all great.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that he's got one as bad as Guardians 2.
Yeah, I do want to watch it again. I think I'll be higher on it if on rewatch.
I've watched it now like 4 times, and every time I'm just like, this sucks.
Interesting. I've only seen it once or twice, so.
If you each could pick one fictional character for the other person to date, who would you pick? Okay. Serious answer, please.
So I can't say Spirit?
That's a serious answer.
Is it?
No, I'm just kidding. No, if you want to give me another meme pick, that's fine, but I want a serious answer out of this.
So I'd probably go the Acklay.
Andrew.
No, but I mean...
For context, the Acklay is the hideous, long, green monster from Attack of the Clones in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Has that awful scream.
I mean, obviously Peach.
Yeah,
Is she of age? I don't...
There's no way. It's Anya Taylor-Joy.
We're assuming. The girl from Solo, Contraxia, whatever the frick her name is.
Kira.
Kira.
Yeah.
Although she's kind of evil and just like kind of dips out on Han at the end. Don't care. Yeah, you don't care. I think those are 2 good picks.
Those are great picks. Thank you. You're a real nice guy.
You've got 3 easy ones.
Yeah, I know. But I'm going to go a little bit outside the box here.
Okay.
I'm going to go Sandy from Grease.
I haven't seen Grease.
She's hot and she can sing well. But most importantly, she's like a little Christian girl. It's probably
Nice.
a virgin, and you can have a beautiful Christian family with her.
Okay.
But really, we're just going to pick, Jenna Ortega and Scream.
Oh, I was going, just pick the 3 Spider-Man. Gwen, Mary Jane, and Black Cat. You've got 3 options.
Kristen Chenoweth? I'm so sorry.
What the I'm not dating Glinda.
I'm so sorry. I was thinking Kirsten Dunst. I'm so sorry.
It just said fictional characters.
Yeah.
Give me any Mary Jane.
Oh, solid. Yeah.
Give me the Black Cat from the video game.
Oh, you know what?
Hubba.
Zoe Kravitz, Mary Jane from Into the Spider-Verse. You're welcome.
Thank you. And they're nice. They got a kid together. They got a house. They're happy. Okay. But she doesn't voice her in that movie. But yeah. Do you think that the pod will still be around in 5 years? And what would you like to do when it ends? We're going to say yes or no in 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
No. I'm just
Andrew.
kidding. Yes. Sorry. Let's go to it again. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yes. I do think it'll still be around in 5 years.
That'll be great.
Yeah. I don't want it to be the only thing I'm doing.
Sure.
I obviously like the Wafella stuff and trivia and escape rooms and movies and streaming and all that. So I would like to be doing other stuff, but I definitely want the podcast to probably still be a thing.
You are much happier multitasking than I am.
Yeah.
Type shit.
You're chilling.
I'd be happy if the podcast is paying my bills in 5 years, like I'm doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just having such a great time doing it.
And hosting, going to cons, stuff like that.
Yeah. Who's your dream panel for doing a convention?
I mean, just the MCU, I guess it would be fun.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
And what would you like to do when it ends? Die?
Yeah. Nice answer, Andrew. I love you. If Andrew doesn't like Spider-Man Homecoming because he's not Spider-Man and does one thing, how can he possibly defend Joker with Joaquin Phoenix when he is clearly not the Joker and also does maybe 2 things?
Great. It's a great question. There are 2 reasons. Number 1, I see Joker as I've said this on the podcast before. Joker is so clearly like an Elseworld thing that it's a completely different take on the character, and it's pretty obvious. It's like in a lot of the versions of the Joker, you don't know his real name. It's Joe Cool or whatever, and he's a laughing clown that fights Batman. In Joker, he is Arthur or whatever the frick his name is in that one.
Arthur Fleck.
Is that it? Is that what he is in the comics?
Nope.
No, that's just Joker.
Yeah, and you're thinking when you said Joe Cool, you're referring to Joe Chill.
Joe Chill.
Who is oftentimes the person that murders Bruce's parents.
Right.
You are getting...
Yeah, but wasn't there like some run where that would turn out to be the Joker or something?
Yeah, I'm sure there has been. I haven't read it.
But he was the Red Hood before the Joker, and then he fell into the pit of acid.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson's Joker is named Jack, and he's a gangster. There are many iterations of Joker that do have backstories, but they're rare.
Yeah, and normally it's clown prince of crime that fights Batman. And the Joker, that's not like so clearly not what it is.
They're doing. Yeah.
It's totally a completely different thing. It's this guy with mental health issues and a laughing tick, and it's Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Okay, that is so clearly an Elseworlds thing compared to Peter Parker being Spider-Man in New York.
In the MCU.
In the MCU. This is the MCU Spider-Man that you're introducing to us, and this is your first movie that you have with him. And you're doing multiple of these, and he's interacting with other superheroes as Peter Parker. Very, like, obviously every iteration of Spider-Man can have some things that are different or whatever, but like that is very clearly more of a thing that should be true to his character and have some aspects that I really need. So that's number one. And number two, I'm totally fine with people not liking the Joker. The Joker movie is one of the first times where I allowed myself to like something that wasn't true to the source material because I understood it was so completely different. But if that's not okay with you, I totally understand that. People in my family and me for a long time didn't like The Dark Knight because we thought that Joker was too different.
Yeah.
So I think it's a valid critique. And if you don't like Joker because of that, I think you're valid. So I think I'm also valid for liking Spider-Man Homecoming. I just think they're clearly different.
My rebuttal to you. Spider-Man Homecoming, like you just mentioned, it's the MCU, so you want it to be more mainline. But the MCU isn't mainline at all. The Guardians of the Galaxy aren't the main Guardians of the Galaxy. Pepper Potts is not usually the love interest of Tony Stark. They change a lot of things. It turns out that the Silver Surfer we're going to get in Fantastic Four is not going to be Norrin Radd. It will be a woman.
But I do love that woman. What's her name?
Yeah, she's from Ozark.
Ozark.
So the MCU is the universe that changes everything. Mm-hmm. So by that argument, we've gotten a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that is pretty true to the source material. Mm-hmm. And then we've gotten the Andrew Garfield movies that you love, and you defend TASM 2 till the day you die. Then by that argument, shouldn't you be more willing to accept Homecoming because it is a different thing in this universe full of different people?
Again, I have 2 points. Number one, I care way less about Guardians of the Galaxy and Pepper and people like that. If you want to change those people, I don't even know who the Guardians are before the Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out. So I don't care. I care way less about them than my favorite superhero of all time, which is Spider-Man. And number two, you can change things. TASM 2 changes things. TASM 2 and TASM 1 adds his parents' story, and Tobey movies change certain things. They change he doesn't have web shooters, stuff like that. It's not necessarily having to be perfect to the source material. It's about doing things that I just need Spider-Man to do, and that is being a superhero that doesn't lose all the time. That's like having Iron Man not have any Iron Man suits for the entirety of his movie except once, and it blows up. Okay? That would be comparable. And I care less about Iron Man. So if you did do that in an Iron Man movie, I'd still care less about that. And
well, they did do that in an Iron Man movie. It's called Iron Man 3.
And 3. And guess what? I didn't like Iron Man 3 for a long time.
Me neither. Well, I haven't seen it again, so I still dislike it. Question for Andrew. Avatar-themed escape room or Attack on Titan-themed escape room?
Frick. Okay. Okay.
I have a clear answer for you.
Okay. Would you like to go?
How I feel you are going to answer this. And maybe you haven't thought about it this way, but I think you're going to think about it this way after I say this, okay?
Okay.
In my experience of doing escape rooms with you, escape rooms with a horror edge, a violent edge where it feels like you are at risk, I think excite you slightly more. I think it would be harder to make an escape room with Avatar where you would feel as threatened as a AOT escape room where I think you could have some kind of threat of a Titan or something looming to make it so much more exciting and exhilarating for you. So I think a personal answer for you would be AOT.
You're cooking. That's totally fair. I think you're very, very smart.
But Avatar's your favorite thing ever.
I think you're very, very, very smart. And I appreciate you understanding me so well. I'm going Avatar.
You fucking asshole.
No. Because I thought about this. Attack on Titan would have some things on Avatar that it would, and you're cooking.
Yeah.
The threat of in an hour a Titan is going to break in, and there's a whole thing in like the first 2 or 3 seasons of Attack on Titan where they're just trying to get back to where Eren grew up, and there's literally a room, his dad's basement, and he has a key necklace that he's worn, and he has to use that key to get into the office and do all this stuff. You can have elements like that, or get the spinal fluid from Zeke that turns other people. Your friends are going to turn into Titans, stuff like that. You got to stop the rumbling. There's a lot of scary things you can do in Attack on Titan that I would really, really enjoy. But at the same time, Avatar is my favorite thing ever. And being able to like bend in the room or go into a room where you have to like metal bend to like open something, stuff like that. I overall, I would just have to experience an Avatar room before I experience an Attack on Titan room. But they're very close. Agree or disagree, wrong segment. Snow is one of the most beautiful things nature has to offer. 3, 2, 1. What? Thank you.
I just have never really experienced snow.
Yeah, but
being a Florida boy and myself, but as soon as you said what, I was like, oh, but movies are so cool.
Movies, Christmas movies, just the pictures of snowy hills and mountains, and I think it gives us some of the best pictures of all time, just pictures of nature.
Yeah, with snow. Snow is really cool.
I'm from Alabama. I've only experienced it like 2 or 3 times.
But I've never experienced it. You got to consider there's such a difference between somebody who has experienced it 2 or 3 times and somebody that's never.
You're right.
Right? Like I've been on a glacier. I've seen ice. I'm not familiar with snow like that.
Yeah.
Top 3 set of boobs in fiction.
Oh.
Shit.
Dang. Okay.
Olivia Munn as Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse.
These are live action people. This is very objectifying.
That's quite a set of boobs.
You totally ignore me. So Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria.
Sydney Sweeney
in fill in the blank.
Anyone But You. Absolutely, Andrew. Nice work. Sydney Sweeney, those are the boobs, right?
Those are the boobs. Okay, let's do animated before we're too much.
Who has great animated boobs?
Come on.
The Big Hero 6.
That's not true.
That's an edited photo.
Yes, trust me, looked it up. Had to double check.
There's got to be some Pixar moms, though. They've got some unbelievable
Mrs.
boobs.
Incredible could.
She could have whatever kind of boobs she wants.
Is like Jessica Rabbit up there?
She's got some boobs.
She's got some knockers.
Knockers?
I said knonkers.
So you combine knockers and honkers.
Yeah. She's got them.
Certainly. Who else?
Animated.
I'm trying to think
animated boobs. Who you got, chat?
I mean, pretty much the entire female cast of Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. But their butts are kind of out of control.
Out of control.
Out of control. Nala? No.
The Lion.
Yeah, no.
What boobs does a lion have? Like, are you referring to the nipples in their undercarriage?
Yeah. They really did it for me. I don't know. There's someone we're missing in animated and it's pissing me off.
100%. We're missing a million, I'm sure.
What's like a crush you
had?
had?
Any of the Disney?
I've got to. Pixar moms are like notorious, but I guess not.
But they're notorious for being thick.
Thick. Yeah, you're right. There's got to be some, like, when we were growing up before it got, like, too PC and, like, they stopped animating everything as super sexual. Like, some Looney Tunes cartoon has got to have some like crazy...
some huge boobs.
What about, like, the woman from Powerpuff Girls where you never see her head and she works for the mayor?
Oh, she got great boobs?
She's...
I don't know.
Anyways. I'm very interested to see what they say. Both of you are in Saw. Who cuts off their foot? Depends on the motivation. I think either of us could...
I don't want to cut off my foot.
I don't want to cut off your foot, but I'm definitely making you cut off your foot.
Yeah, probably.
I'd cut off my foot for you.
Thank you, buddy.
No, if we're in Saw,
yeah,
and the other person is going to die unless you cut off your foot.
Yes, then obviously I would cut off my
shot.
Foot. Okay, fuck you, Andrew. You're the worst. I was only saying obviously because you were so nice to me just now. I want you to know I'm not cutting off my foot for you.
Okay, good.
I don't fuck with you.
Hot and cold, baby. That's what we are.
Underrated movies from your childhood. And is Sky High valid?
Dude.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Whoever put that.
Yes, it is.
Good for you.
Sky High is absolutely valid, and it's absolutely an underrated movie from my childhood. Another underrated movie from my childhood, we mentioned it this hour. Flushed Away. Underrated movie from my childhood.
Along the same lines of Sky High, Disney original, Holes.
Sure.
I don't know if it's underrated even anymore, but it's neither. Like, people who have watched Holes and have watched Sky High, all of them are like, that's freaking great. It's a great movie.
Yes.
I love Holes.
Speaking of Disney, I really quite like the High School Musical movies, but those aren't really underrated, so I'm going to take a step forward and go the other two musicals I like from Disney Channel originals. Give me Lemonade Mouth. Excellent. Very underrated. And give me Teen Beach Movie, which is even more underrated. Teen Beach Movie has like Broadway level choreography. And the songs are super fun.
Broadway level choreography.
I'm not fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. You could make an argument that the Teen Beach Movie choreography is better than the Wicked choreography. And guess what? Same choreographer. It's that good. I'm telling you.
All right. I'm sure there's some more we're missing, but
100%. But I mean, underrated. I mean, you're gonna say Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Transformers '86 was a huge part of my childhood. And
there's some obscure movie that I know I freaking loved as a kid.
You ever watch Our Friend Martin?
Nope.
They didn't make you watch that in school, middle school or something? That's crazy. You grew up in Alabama. They'll know what I'm talking about.
Question for Andrew. If Gwen Stacy didn't exist, MJ or Black Cat? You can answer this too. It depends on what criteria are we talking? Are we talking
a one-night stand?
Or are we talking marriage?
It's a clear answer both ways.
Of course.
You're going Black Cat for the one night, for the one time.
Yes, for the two time.
And then you're going...
No, that's Dr. Disrespect. You can't quote him anymore. Bad, Andrew.
I don't get it.
Dr. Disrespect is a streamer.
Okay.
And he always says he's the two-time back-to-back champion.
Cool.
Something. Yeah. It's part of his character. He was talking to a minor.
Oh, excellent.
Can't be quoting him anymore.
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
I think I know who this is.
Sunglasses.
Absolutely. Guess what? 49ers fan. No surprise. No surprise. Question for Alex. Can you give us your ratings for all the Back to the Future movies and then rank them?
The floor is yours.
You could certainly make an argument that first one's a 10 out of 10. You could certainly make an argument that the second one is a 9 out of 10. And you could certainly make an argument that the third one is dog shit.
Whoa, I've heard that the second one is bad. And
the second one is great. The third one is great and super fun. But if you think it's bad, that's fine.
Okay.
It's just completely different. You're just in the Wild West. It's really different. I think they're all fun. I think they're all great. I haven't seen them in a long enough time to give you like a concrete answer. But I'll probably watch them soon enough. But Back to the Future 1 is one of the best movies of all time. It's probably a 10 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. But if it's a 9 out of 10, it's like a 9.5. And I love the sequel. And I love the third one. But I do think it's like a Revenge of the Sith situation where it's not a great movie, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to rewatch them, though. I can't give you concrete answers.
I haven't seen the second and third. So
You've only seen the first one.
Yeah.
What would you? When did you see the first one? Recently?
I was a teenager, but I would still give it a 9.5. Yeah, I remember it.
All time.
It's crazy how much it stuck with me. Do you think the new Aang trilogy will be a top 5 animated movie trilogy of all time?
Guess what? I think it's gonna suck.
I think it has the chance to suck. It has the chance to not. If I had to put money on it, I would say absolutely not top 5 animated movie trilogy of all time.
No,
but.
Because what's in that conversation?
Toy Story.
Spider-Verse, when it comes out. Toy Story, absolutely.
Kung Fu Panda. How to Train Your
Dragon.
You can put Shrek in there.
You can put Shrek in there, no question.
Incredibles will be in there, potentially.
Incredibles will be in there. I was seeing clips from Incredibles 2 the other day, man. God, are we harsh on that movie? It's so fucking fun.
Yeah, I saw one the other day. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
I get it. We're all harsh on that movie. It's not nearly as good as the first one. It is so fun.
Yeah. I feel like if it wasn't attached to the first one, I think we might be higher on it. Like if you just compare it by itself to like some of the other Pixar, like it's more fun for sure. Mm-hmm. No, I hope / think the Aang trilogy will be good, but I'm not going to give it top 5 animated trilogy of all time.
Yeah. Which movie do y'all want to win Best Original Score at the Oscars this year? I got to tell you, super underwhelming movie year for score. Dune 2 can't be nominated because it's not an original score or something like that. It's too much from the sequel, which is horseshit, Academy. That's horseshit. So
that's not what that
Challengers is the most memorable score of the year for me.
Yeah, that's
I just remember being in the theater and just feeling it. And I do think that's the favorite to win, but you compare that to last year, Oppenheimer won, should have won. Daniel Pemberton's unbelievable score for Spider-Verse should have won in any other year. Like when you think about it, like every year it feels like we get a couple scores that could win. This year, all these scores seem like losers to me, even challengers.
Yeah, I was going to say Dune too. When will you guys play the Monopoly game? So for people who don't know, did we do this on the main? We did this on the main.
We talked about the Monopoly on the main.
So he got a gift from his mom that is Escape Pod-opoly, which is Escape Pod podcast themed Monopoly. It's right here. All the cards and properties and spaces are all Escape Pod themed. We might play it immediately after filming this.
Correct.
It's going to be an episode on the Patreon. We'll film the whole thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
With a couple of the roommates. Or maybe just Rachel, because nobody fucks with us.
Oh, okay.
I always wondered how an insufferable human starts their day. Would Alex care to share his morning routine? That's hilarious.
That's brutal. That's from a patron, too.
That's hilarious. Okay. Wow. You're paying my bills.
Yeah, that's great.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so morning routine. I wake up decently early. I want to say 8 a.m. I check my phone. I go through the news, etc., etc. I immediately fall back asleep. Fall asleep till around 10:30, 11. I post a TikTok from bed. Rachel now lives with me, so she gets up to make her morning coffee probably around 11:30, 12. When she does that, she makes my breakfast. My breakfast is dinosaur oatmeal. You can get it at your local store. I leave the dinosaur oatmeal in the bowl for a couple of hours so it gets prime sogginess. And I lay in bed until I get up to eat. I eat on my balcony. And,
this is such a strange existence.
And yeah.
This is what he does, everybody.
This is what I do every day.
Yikes.
Yikes is gross.
You know what's gross? Leaving dinosaur oatmeal to sit and get soggy for 2 hours.
And people, this is even more gross to people. I eat it cold. Like most people warm up their oatmeal and I don't.
You're going to make me vomit. Do you guys think The Odyssey will be better than Oppenheimer? On 3.
3, 2, 1. No.
Yes.
Yeah, good for you.
I have faith in the Nolan. He consistently puts out bangers, and I love Oppenheimer. I think it's great. I think I will personally like The Odyssey more. I'm so excited.
I think The Odyssey could be spectacular. Goodness gracious, is Oppenheimer great?
Oppenheimer is great. I think The Odyssey's going to top it. I do. I'm so excited.
What would you rather watch? Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 3, where he doesn't pull his punches, or Fresh Start Star Wars, not made by Disney and rated R? I never want rated R Star Wars.
Okay, wow.
That's a lie. I want a Star Wars horror movie. I just realized that. But I don't want
franchise.
I don't want Rebel Moon. I don't want it to be a rated R franchise. I do not want to see blood in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing. So yeah, and there's no question. I would take TASM 3 over many things. Like many hypothetical things, because he was so spectacular in No Way Home.
He was amazing.
And I don't have the problem with Disney Star Wars that everybody else does.
Fair enough. Have you / would you ever watch Severance? Have not.
Have not.
Would. Mainly because of that freaking awesome Grand Central Station bullcrap that they pulled.
Awesome.
I love stuff like that.
Awesome.
I eat that crap.
And that it's actually Adam Scott is awesome.
Awesome. And you see Ben Stiller over there, just like a proud dad. He was just like on the sidelines. Anything that makes stuff immersive and feel like you're in the world and the world is our world and interactive, whatever. I love it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is freaking sick. And they were just acting for like...
Severance is a very popular show.
I've watched a little bit.
I'm sure it's great. It does not seem like it's my cup of tea.
But it might be. I've watched like half of the first episode.
We'll see. Maybe I will watch.
Let's do one more each, and we will save these for next time.
Okay.
Because we still got Dune and Skeleton Crew to talk about.
That's correct. Do you think Wanda is dead in our universe, or is she still alive somehow, or will she be brought back through the multiverse? I think she's dead, and I think she'll be brought back to life. I don't think through the multiverse.
I do not think she'll be brought back through the multiverse. I think she'll be brought back somehow, whether she's dead or not. I don't think it matters. I think she'll be back. I think
she will 100% be back because she is such a moneymaker.
Yeah.
The WandaVision Scarlet Witch merch is like the best-selling merch in the MCU. It's crazy. I never thought growing up that I'd see a world where like Scarlet Witch is like outselling Superman casually. Like no problem.
James Gunn's going to put an end to that. Last question. Seriously, when do you think you'll watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? And if you guys plan to watch it, can we watch it with the Patreon?
I would really love to watch something with the Patreon.
Okay, yeah. I've watched 3 or 4 episodes with some members of the Patreon, not the whole Patreon. So maybe y'all can catch up, and then we do some watch parties every week or something. But yeah, I'm down to watch it. We'll just have to plan it. So maybe is the. All right. We are talking about Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. You gonna rate it out of 10?
Yeah. Let's.
Here are our scores for Skeleton Crew, the new Star Wars Disney Plus series, out of 10. 3, 2, 1. 7 out of 10. Yep, I knew it. I knew we were going to be exactly on the same. And I bet you it's for the same reason. It's all good. None of it's bad. It's all not great.
Correct. There's one episode I didn't like. I didn't like episode 4 much at all. And it really scared me because it was right at the time that all the Star Wars and Disney Plus shows, Marvel shows, they're interesting for 2 or 3 episodes, and then they start sucking, and I was really worried, and then they got me back with episode 5. The whole time I was thinking, yeah, it's fine. I could maybe be bumped up to a 7.5, mainly because of the finale. I really enjoyed the finale.
I also really enjoyed the finale, but also my biggest problem with the series is with the finale.
Interesting.
So we'll talk about that in spoilers.
We'll get into that in spoilers. But yeah, just the whole... I kind of have one problem with it, and other than that, it was good. It was interesting watching the kids. I think the kids did a great job.
Yep.
It felt Star Wars-y, but also new and fresh. And there was nothing that was just boring and took me out, like some of these other shows, like The Acolyte. There are times in The Acolyte where I was just throwing my hands up and being and bored and like finding myself not even watching. And then this, I was just like, yeah. I liked the robot.
SM33.
SM33 with this. And I thought the treasure planet mystery aspect was quite interesting. And yeah, the finale, I thought the finale was just really fun throughout.
Okay, you ready for this take? Mm-hmm. You're going to love this take, okay? The best thing about Skeleton Crew is that it's pirates in the Star Wars universe. Right. And they do a really great job of making it a pirate show in the Star Wars universe. You've got secret layers with booby traps and this and that. You've got the ships, and it's a port, so they're all docked like a real shipyard, but they're Star Wars ships in space. Awesome. There's buried treasure. There's gold. There's a reason for all of it. The pirates act like pirates. They've got a pirate code. All of that is super. The first mate is a droid. His name's Smee, SM33. All of that is great. It's also the biggest problem with the show. Why is it the biggest problem with the show? What's the coolest thing about pirates? That they're fucking pirates. That they're on real boats with sails, and they've got real swords, not lightsabers, and they're actually wearing hats, and it's not a spaceship. It's like a grounded, in the same way that like the Roman Empire is cool, pirates are cool. And I think that like, this is the best thing you could have done with that. And I think it's part of the reason why you and I both agree that this show was good and not great. Because at its core, the best thing about it cannot be amazing to us. Because the thing that makes pirates so cool can't work in the Star Wars universe. What's your take to that?
I see what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree, but also like Treasure Planet is one of my favorite animated movies of all time, and I'm totally down with that.
But is Treasure Planet cool because it's space pirates?
It's one of the reasons it's cool. It's interesting. It doesn't rely on it as much as
as much as Skeleton Crew.
But you know, I think taking pirates and putting them in space. I understand the groundedness and the water and the swords and yo-ho and all that. I definitely get it. But that's not necessarily a negative to the show for me. I really enjoyed the mystery, trying to find the treasure aspect of it. You do lose some sort of appeal from normal pirates. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's like the biggest negative in the show to me. But I see what you're saying.
You want to get into spoilers?
Yeah, let's do some spoilers.
3, 2, 1.
Spoilers.
What do you think of the Jod twist?
That is maybe the one problem I have with it.
Whoa.
Because
I thought that's what got you back in.
No.
Because that happens in episode 5.
Is that when that happens?
That's what got me back in. I was like, oh, shit.
Well, I can't... So, maybe it's just because I had a certain expectation that wasn't going to be met, but I liked him too much. And I understand... And I was thinking about, like, well, there's plenty of times where there's a twist and it's good, even though you like the person. And I was trying to figure out why this one bothered me. I think it's because, say you have a movie and there's 4 characters and they're all main characters and you like all of them all the way throughout and they're all friends, they're a group of friends, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, one of them's evil. That's a good twist because you're liking them the whole time and you think they're good. In this one, he is a pirate, so you know he's supposed to be kind of bad, but they set him up the whole time for you to like him. Like, he's a pretty likable character in the first few, and he's, like, working with the kids, and you think he's going to be one of those, like, Jack Sparrow-type pirates where he's bad but good. So I guess it's, like, he already had the label of pirate, so, like, you kind of assumed he was going to be bad, but he was going to be a good bad, but then he just ends up being fully bad, like all the other pirates. Like, you were pulling against the werewolf pirate.
He ends up being maybe worse.
But he's worse, and then he works with the werewolf pirate, kind of, at the end. So I just kind of felt like, as soon as the twist happened, I kept waiting for him to stop being so mean, but then he's, like, almost shooting the kids' parents and, like, enslaving an entire planet, and it just felt weird. I kept wanting to like him, and I couldn't. So the twist just felt a little weird to me. Does that make sense?
I'm with you 100%. That being said, I am so glad. I am exhausted of Star Wars doing the Han Solo trope over and over and over. Scoundrel with a heart of gold. I'm exhausted of it. I was so happy that this whole time, all these people are like, you shouldn't trust him. You shouldn't trust this guy. You should not trust this guy. And the whole time, the way the story is going, and freaking Jude Law is so likable that you're just thinking, no, this is Han Solo. They've all got the wrong beat on him. He's got a heart of gold, and he doesn't. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Because in Star Wars, that juxtaposition is so rare. I also like that he's genuinely Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Which I called since day one. I was like, like, he was doing things that, like, you couldn't fake. But every single time, they play it off like it's fake. Like, every single time, there's like a, how did he do that one? But I like that he's genuinely Force sensitive. I really liked that.
Yeah, I always assumed he was Force sensitive. He just, like, clearly wasn't a Jedi. Like, there was, like, an episode or two where they kept calling him a Jedi.
Yeah.
And it was very clear from the script that he never responded to them.
Yes, which
obviously, he's not going to be a Jedi.
Yeah, but obviously he's not a Jedi. Who cares if he's a Jedi or not? The question was, is he Force sensitive? I'm glad he's Force sensitive.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice touch.
But what do you think about the supervisor being a droid?
Don't care at all.
Well, I didn't. It was interesting. It was one of those things, kind of like I mentioned in Creature Commandos, where it was like a little too fast. It was like you've revealed that this thing that haven't been seeing for this entire episode, and everyone looks up to this supervisor that controls everything, and we see him, and, like, in the very next scene he's dying and Jude Law is destroying him. So it was just kind of quick. It was like, okay, cool reveal, and now it's gone. But overall, the finale was just so fun. The kids, the parents having to listen to the kids, and then them being like, oh, it's just a power outage, and then, like, them coming up on their bikes and being like, we gotta go. And then what's this girl's name? KB almost sacrificing herself. I love KB. KB's my friggin' favorite, dude. She's great.
So we're talking about the finale, and I loved everything you're mentioning about the finale. Here's my problem with the finale. I wanted to see more from that fallout.
Like afterwards, because all the power's out and everything?
And now the barrier is gone, and the X-Wings are taking down the pirates. Like, this is a huge development.
Yeah.
I need to know what's happening.
You think they're going to do a season 2?
I don't. This show wasn't that successful, and I don't think there's going to be that much of a demand for season 2. And frankly, I don't care if you do a season 2 or not.
What if they answer some of your questions?
I think they should have been answered in the end of season 1.
Interesting. Yeah, that's fair. There were some pretty big
Doing a whole season of television to answer questions that I have at the end of this show would be silly, because I'm probably going to be disappointed by most of those answers based on the writing for the Disney Plus shows have been so far.
Yeah. What happened to Jude Law's character?
He's just standing there, and at the end, he's smiling. I don't like that. He's just like...
Yeah,
he's like a good guy again.
Yeah, he did.
After he's threatening the lives of these parents.
Yeah,
and their kids.
Ended kind of abruptly. Also, there was a scene where like he's obviously force sensitive, and the whole debacle up there with the supervisor where they're trying to pull the thing, and he's like using the force to stop the guy's hand, but then he has the lightsaber to what's his face's dad. What's his freaking name? I can't remember any of their freaking names.
You're talking about the main boy?
Yeah,
that's Wim.
Wim's dad, and he's like, "Don't pull it." I'm like, "Why don't you just force the kid away?" He pushed like one of the parents completely over.
Yeah, it's Win, Fern,
Neil,
KB. The droid is SM-33. He's Jod Silvo because, of course, it's Long John Silver, but it's Jod Silvo. Kill me now.
But you like Smee.
I love Smee. Because that's cool. Because it's SM-33. That is way better.
It's a little cooler.
Jod Silvo.
It's very Star Wars sounding, though.
It is.
I had a lot of fun with the pirate invasion and her going up.
Yep.
To send out the message.
Yep.
And the whole standoff and the supervisor and the kids doing the bikes and Neil shooting down the thing and then running away and it blowing up. It's just fun. It's cute. It's fun.
It was fun. And it was cute. Every episode had something cute and fun.
Yeah. Which
I liked.
Yeah, they're not. It's just the Stranger Things effect. If they do a season 2, the kids are going to be 20.
That's such a good point.
By the time it comes out,
it's going to lose its luster, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, it's solid. It's a good show. I'm happy it happened. I think.
Yeah,
it was cool to go to the premiere. Thank you for bringing me.
Of course.
Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2.
All right, you ready? We're gonna make this quick. Mm-hmm. And by quick, I mean the reveal. Here's my review for Dune Part 2. I finally seen it. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's really spectacular.
I need it out of 10 freaking now.
It's well over a 9 out of 10.
Good.
Okay, here's the thing, okay? It makes the first one so much better.
Yes.
I think the first one is a 9 out of 10 after seeing the second one. Here's my clear positives, because I always start with negatives. I want to start with positives here, okay? Timothée Chalamet in this movie is the coolest human being of all time. Like Anakin Skywalker level cool. The hair, I know I complained about the hair in the last movie. I knew it would be fixed in this one. Oh boy, is it fixed. Every shot of him with the cape and the robe and the
riding the thing
is awesome.
Giving the speech is awesome. But it's cool because like all the Fremen have like a Jedi tan robe, but he also has a black robe. It's so cool. It's the coolest thing ever. Okay, so that's the starter. Everything with him and all those like money shots. I felt like I was watching Caesar in the fucking Planet of the Apes movies. Yeah. Every shot with him is a money shot towards the end of the movie, okay? The cast is incredible. Javier Bardem as Stilgar is incredible and hilarious in this movie. I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing at him as much as I was. Is he Lisa Nalgayi?
Yes, he's the
fanatic. Oh, you're supposed to be laughing.
But like, it's a scene where he's like, he's humble. See, he doesn't say he's the Muad'Dib, which makes him more the Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
Hilarious! I was losing my mind.
What happens where he comes in, he just does something, he's like, Lisa Nalgayi.
When he wins the fight.
Yeah.
Lisa Nalgayi. He loses his mind. It's incredible. Okay, so that's incredible. Okay. Everything people say about the cinematography of this movie is incredible. The way they use the sun. The way they use the sun on the Harkonnen homeworld, where it's all black and white.
Yes.
But then when you're in the shade, it's not black and white because it's like a white sun or whatever that's making it that. That is fucking awesome.
What about the scene with Austin Butler's character in the hallway with the fireworks going off outside and he's getting seduced and it's black and white and weird looking? I love that scene.
Yes. And the fireworks looked really weird.
Yeah, and
they don't really look like real fireworks.
No.
It was awesome. This movie is shot incredibly well. Everything you've heard about it, yes, it's incredible, okay? The action is excellent. The choreography is excellent. The writing is excellent. The way that they have this web come together and now you fully understand all of the things that were going on in Dune 1 and how they translate to Dune 2. It really is, everybody says this, but it really is a 5-hour movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just a shit ton of positives I could say about this movie.
One of the things that I really, the action in Dune 2 obviously is great. There's two things that really happen. Obviously, the big one at the end where he brings in the sandworms and just comes in and takes over.
Yep.
Which looks amazing, obviously. And then there's just like, they let you watch him with the Fremen take down one of those spice excavator.
It's one of the coolest scenes.
It's so cool, and I was watching it, and I was comparing it to some other action scenes, like in Transformers, and not to insult Transformers, or like some of the Marvel movies where it's like big and grand, and you have all these things happening, and things are exploding. But like in this one, it's one machine and two people running around trying to like blow it up, but like not get shot from this other thing, and it was just all contained in this one simple thing. But I enjoyed it just as much or more, and the tension was
just as much or more.
Yeah.
The simplicity of it is what makes it work.
Because it was shot so well,
yeah.
And it was so interesting. I really enjoyed it, yeah.
I could say a million things positive about Dune 2. I'm not sure where it's going to land in my favorites of the year. I was actually looking at that. So Dune 2 is not my favorite movie of 2024.
Can I throw some at you and you can say better or worse?
Yes.
Okay. Fall Guy.
Better than Fall Guy.
Wild Robot.
I'd take Wild Robot.
Okay. Transformers 1.
I'm taking Transformers 1.
Figured. Wicked you're taking.
I'm taking Wicked.
And you're taking Alien Romulus.
I'm taking Alien Romulus.
So it's coming in at 5
I'm
spot?
taking Anora, and I'm taking Nosferatu.
Interesting.
So it would be I think Dune 2 is clearly better than Trap, which is my 7th spot. So
goodness gracious, thank you.
So
Thank
Dune
heavens.
2 would be my 7th favorite movie of 2024.
That's a little low for such a, you said it's clearly over a 9.
Yeah. Maybe I like it more than Wild Robot. I do not like it more than Nosferatu.
There are some things about Nosferatu that I think are better, but I think the epicness and the uniqueness of Dune Part 2 carries a little bit more for me.
Here we go. We're going to talk about my negatives, and they're serious. I just gassed up this movie and glazed this movie because it really is phenomenal. I love you guys. You guys are the best community in the world, but sometimes when I bring up criticisms, people take it too much to heart and make it seem like I'm saying this movie's bad. I'm not saying this movie's bad by saying this, okay? The start of this movie fucking sucks. Okay.
What was the start?
It meanders just like the ending of the last one. If this is one 5-hour movie, the middle fucking blows. There are you do not need to take this long to do things. It picks up exactly where the last movie ends. You did not need to do that. You could have done that. 2 scenes. There is a pointless scene with Dave Bautista that is pointless to illustrate that the Fremen are frustrated, that the Fremen are frustrating the Harkonnens when taking back Dune. You don't need to do that in that scene. You know what you could just do? You could just do the Timothée Chalamet Zendaya scene that we were just describing. That action scene, just put that there and we fucking get it. You don't need to have, it's like the Snyder Cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is an excellent movie. Again, excellent movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League is an 8, pushing 9 out of 10. It's just too long. But there are pointless scenes in there with Desaad and Steppenwolf where they are having the same conversation that they had 3 scenes ago, but you just wanted to have more Steppenwolf and more Desaad because you filmed that already and it was expensive to CGI render him and you had to get this movie to 4 hours to justify it even existing. Okay, it felt like that. It was like there were so many scenes where I was just like, why are we doing this? Okay, that's my first major problem with Dune Part 2 is the start. Okay,
that's fair.
Second big problem is the ending. I don't fucking understand the motivation of Timothée Chalamet's character at all. The whole movie. He is saying, I cannot go south because if I go south, I will start a holy war. I get how that's possible. I get it. That makes so much sense to me, right? Because he's going to go to the south. They're going to worship him like a god. He's going to go crazy because he's going to think he's a god. And then he's going to feel like a god and be power hungry and then start a holy war. That makes perfect sense to me. The whole movie, that makes perfect sense to me, okay? He goes to the south, and the first scene of him in the south is him giving the speech with 1 million people where he's just acting like a god immediately. So as soon as he goes to the south, there's not like a scene or 2 scenes or 3 scenes of people like worshiping him that like where you see him go crazier. It's just, I can't go to the south. I can't go to the south. I can't go to the south. And then finally they're like, we're going to the south. And he's like, I'm not going to the south. And they're like, you're going to die out here. And he's like, all right, I'll go to the south. And then the very next scene is giving the fucking speech. And he's acting like a god. And it's too quick. And then literally 30 minutes later or 20 minutes later, he takes over everything and then he becomes emperor and they're like, they don't accept you as emperor. And he's like, kill them. And then the Holy War begins. The whole thing he's been scared of the whole movie. This is my issue, is the whole movie, everything is so patient and there's no patience at the end, which makes the breakneck of that. Maybe you feel that his motivation is justified and maybe it makes sense to you. But for me, it happens too quickly based on the pace that you set. When the pace that I said they should have set at the start, by cutting all those unnecessary scenes that I was explaining, comparing it to the Snyder Cut, if you cut all those, then maybe that makes more sense to me. But it doesn't make sense because you've set the precedent that this is a 3-hour movie and then you wrap this up in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for me.
No, I think you might be cooking generally. I think I remember thinking that the swap to him becoming God, whatever, was a little fast, and that the last 30, 40 minutes moved way quicker than the whole rest of the movie.
Correct.
So it seemed like two completely different movies in terms of pacing. So I'll give you all that. I haven't seen it enough to remember. I saw it once at an early screening, so it's been freaking forever. Yeah, I think I can't. Is it really the next scene? I thought there were a couple scenes of him in the South, but I remember just kind of thinking he was broken down gradually because he didn't want to go to the South, but then he kept like seeing things that kept changing his mind. And then when he chose to go to the South, he was kind of already of the mindset of like, I have to go do this. So him going to the South, he doesn't have to be convinced once he's in the South. I think him choosing to go to the South was part of him being convinced over the course of this other paced movie for 2 hours. I think that's what happened. Not saying they did it that well, or I can't remember, but that's what I remember.
And then my final complaint is Dune 2 has the Godfather 2 problem, which I think the Godfather 2 is an excellent movie. I give it an 8 out of 10. But there are people that say that it's better than the first one. I completely disagree. And there are people that say it's one of the best movies of all time, and I completely disagree. Because Godfather 2 is a 3-hour movie. It's another long one. I think it's like 3:20 or something like that. Godfather 2 is like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life for 2 hours. Everything that happens in the first 2 hours, I'm like, this is incredible. There's an assassination attempt. He goes to Cuba. Everything in Cuba is incredible. Everything, okay? But then we get to a point, I think it's 2 hours in, where he finds out that somebody betrayed him. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that haven't seen it, but somebody betrayed him, and he finds that out. And you know he's going to kill this person that betrayed him. And then it's another hour and 20 minutes of a movie where you know exactly what he's going to do because it's the exact same ending as the first movie. And you know that he's going to kill the people that betrayed him and kill the people that tried to assassinate him. And then it takes an hour and a half to kill those people and do those things and do all the things that... And you knew it was going to happen an hour and a half ago. That's my issue with Dune 2 is I know he's going to kill Baron Harkonnen. I know he's going to ask for the Empress's hand. I know he's going to marry Florence Pugh. I know that that's going to piss off Zendaya. I know he's going to fight Austin Butler. I know he's going to start the Holy War. I know he's going to...
You knew he was going to ask for the hand in marriage? I thought that was like a twist at the end. Zendaya...
No, I knew that because they keep saying it. They keep saying it, they keep saying it, they keep saying it. And he keeps saying, I will always love you as long as I breathe. Like, he keeps saying that. Like, I knew that was going to happen. So I felt like all of that, because that was the plan from Dune 1. Maybe you didn't remember that because you haven't seen Dune 1 in so long. I saw it this week, so that's something they mentioned in Dune 1. I was like, oh, Florence Pugh? Oh, they're 100% getting married. So, like, all of these things that happen, like, I felt like I knew all of it was going to happen, and then it takes too long for it to happen, and then when it finally happens, it feels too quick because it took too long to do it. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, that's it? You didn't do something else? Like, it's like the build-up to the final episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they're like, oh, it's the lion turtle and this and that, and they keep going, well, you got to kill him, 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 and that's why the end scene works, because he doesn't fucking kill him. It would be like that, and then he just kills him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
You're cooking. Like, I'm not.
Now it's still a 9 out of 10. It's still easily one of the best movies of the year, and it's excellent. But like, so don't take what I'm saying as like. I just, final complaint, minor one. I don't love Austin Butler as much as everybody else does. I
What?
think he gives a great performance. I think he's a great actor. I do not buy him. Okay? This is what I mean by that. The entrance scene for him, which is the only scene where we see him fight, it is set, the standard is set that he often does these gladiator fights. They make it seem like he does them often. And 2 of the guys that he's fighting are drugged. They're like walking and they're drugged. And then one of the guys isn't drugged. And they make a huge deal about that. They're like, that guy isn't drugged. Well, we have to stop the fight immediately. And Stellan Skarsgård did it on purpose to like see his nephew's potential. And then you see later, he like, Austin Butler's like pissed about it. He was like, you tried to have me killed. And then he was like, it was my birthday present to you. That sets the tone that this guy is probably not a good fighter. So when he's fighting Paul, who is this amazing fighter who we see win every single fight, I do not buy that he can beat Paul. And when he stabs Paul, I'm pissed. Because I'm like, there's nothing in this movie that makes me think that this guy's a good fighter.
He beat the guy.
This random prisoner?
The random prisoner that was like, wasn't that freaking...
He's not in the first movie.
No, was it not the guy that... What are you talking about?
If he is in the first movie, he looks nothing like the guy in the first movie.
What's Austin Butler's character's name?
Fade Rotha.
I thought that was very clearly a character that was taken prisoner in the first movie.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember him at all.
But yeah, he kills 3 people in that fight. And like
2 of them were drugged!
Sure, but he still kills them, and he does these all the time. And the guards try to come and help him. He's like, freaking no.
But 2 of them were drugged, and when one of them isn't drugged, they make a huge deal about it. So all he does is fight drugged people. That doesn't impress me at all. How are you going to fight Paul Atreides? Like that, this bullshit. Paul Atreides.
They showed you him killing 3 people. Yes, 2 of them were drugged, but he still killed 3 people. That doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. But
he's not as good as Paul, who wins every fight.
Right, that's why he loses.
But barely.
And what every fight does Paul win?
Paul, and the whole time they're like, you're going to lose to Jamis, you're going to lose to Jamis. He kicks Jamis's ass.
Is that the sand people fight that he does in front of Zendaya?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1.
Yes, and then in Dune 2, he has a bunch of fights where you see him against fighters. You see that he knows Josh Brolin's pattern of walking in the sand. And then there's a scene where Timothée Chalamet fights somebody early, and Zendaya is like, damn, like, you're an incredible fighter. Like, where'd you learn to fight like that? And he was like, my 2 mentors, they taught me everything. They were good friends. And that's Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa. And Jason Momoa takes on like 30 guys in the first one. So that line sets the tone that he is almost as good as Jason Momoa. And I don't think there's anything that makes me think that Fade Rotha is the threat that Paul Atreides is.
Yeah, I just disagree. It was an Atreides captain. That was...
Congratulations. It's not Jason Momoa. If Jason Momoa was alive and he beat Jason Momoa, I'd be like, oh shit, we're in trouble. But I never felt that tension. I never once was like, oh, this guy's... He's killing like his attendants like randomly. I get he's nuts.
Yeah, he's nuts.
But that's not like, I don't think he's a good fighter. To me, that seems like he wants to kill people and they just let him kill whoever he wants. They've got a line that he killed his mother. Like, so he's just a nutso guy that just likes killing people. I never got the sense that he would even have a chance in a fight with Paul Atreides. When he's winning that fight, I was like, what? No.
Yeah, didn't have that thought literally ever.
I'm happy for you. That's a little one, though.
Uh-huh.
That's a little issue I had. And I do like the line when he's dying that he goes, you fought well, Atreides, which is the thing he says to the guy that he kills. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great...
May thy knife chip and shatter.
May thy knife chip and shatter, which was hilarious.
Did you like the part where she's like, you are not dead, and he's like, silence!
Yes!
and she's like,
blasphemy. That was great. That was great. There's so many... I mean, his speech... When he's God, when he's like, this is your deal, this is your deal. And
I
am
like,
Paul Atreides. When he gets up there and they're like, you're going to kill Stilgar. And then you'll be able to speak. And he's like, kill our best fucking guy? I don't think so. I'm God. I do, even though, again, even though I was complaining about it, that it is too fast. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
He walks in and they're all like, oh, shoot.
It's so cool because he looks, and the hair, it is the perfect, the hair really sells it more than people will give you.
I don't know why, but I find the little sand thumpers like super oddly satisfying.
I love them. The sound that they make. Oh, and how cool is it that they're like, oh my gosh, you've got a big ass worm.
Yeah.
And then he gets the big ass worm.
Yeah, of course.
As it was written. Oh, that's all great.
So last question. Do you like what?
There are a couple more things I want to talk about.
Go.
Okay. One thing real quick. A lot of people want to know this. Okay. Dune, Star Wars. I get it. Dune was first. I see all of the things that Star Wars took from Dune in the same way that it took from Flash Gordon, in the same way that it took from many other things. Star Wars is an amalgamation of all of the things that George Lucas loves, clearly, okay? There's no universe where I'm going to like Dune more.
Yeah.
And it's really well written, but goodness gracious, is it missing the whimsy of Star Wars?
Yes.
It's missing the whimsical.
Yeah.
Like, it takes itself way too seriously. And I know...
That's part of the charm.
Sure. I know that Stilgar is supposed to make you laugh, but not as much as I was laughing at him. And I know that...
And it feels weird, like you're not supposed to laugh in this movie because it's not whimsical.
I know I'm not supposed to laugh at Duncan Idaho's name, but I laughed every time they said it. Why? Because I need to laugh. Because you're putting so much... Oh, it's like that Family Guy clip talking about The Godfather. It insists upon itself. Dune insists upon itself so much that, like, I find myself laughing at times that I'm not supposed to be laughing because, like, I just have to get it out. Of course Star Wars is more popular because...
I said this.
Oh,
in
really?
my Dune 2 most overrated. Do you think I was kind of cooking with that?
You're 100% cooking. This is not the greatest movie of all time.
Where I was talking like, if you don't agree that it's not the best sci-fi movie in the last 40 years, you're crazy. Again, we both love Dune on this podcast.
Yes.
But I was saying, of course, New Hope and Empire and Star Wars is going to be more popular than this particular franchise just because it's going to appeal to more people.
It's so much more digestible, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, like... And I get everything that's going on. I could describe to you every single little political move that happens in this fucking movie with... It's not an Interstellar situation. Where Interstellar, my problem was I didn't get it. Not a problem at all in Dune. I got everything in this fucking movie. I was answering every question. For Rachel was so lost during all of this.
I need to watch it with you.
And I was like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. Like, I got it. I know I got it. It's just like... God, it's like...
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think
I'm missing the whimsy of Star Wars.
I don't think every sci-fi movie needs whimsy. I don't think every movie needs whimsy.
2001 doesn't need whimsy.
Yeah, it is very grand and something like that, you know. Lord of the Rings doesn't have a lot of... Well, Lord of the Rings still has more whimsy.
Lord of the Rings is way more whimsy.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings is like hilarious, right?
But I do think that part of the appeal of Dune is how serious it is, and that makes Lisan Al-Gaib kind of work, and Paul Atreides' character kind of work, and that political system. It's a lot. I mean, obviously Star Wars is political, but this is like even more political in some ways, and so I think that's part of the positive of it. But I also agree with you that, you know, Empire Strikes Back is going to be more digestible and more fun and more our favorites for a lot of people than something like Dune.
And final thing I want to talk about. I know many, many people like Dune more than Star Wars, and that's okay, and they're going to bully us for what we just said, okay? Dune will never, ever beat Star Wars in ship design. The Dune ship designs suck! They all suck! The Dragonfly, the Orthanopter, is awesome. Those are awesome. Every other ship in Dune sucks. Most of them are ovals. Mm-hmm. Like, they're just big circles in space. They suck. They fucking suck. So many, every ship except the Dragonfly, which is an awesome ship, every ship in Dune sucks. And like literally almost every Star Wars ship is awesome. We were just talking about Skeleton Crew, which is a B- Star Wars property. We were like, it's okay. Amazing ship. The Onyx Cinder, after it loses its hull and is silver and has the wings in the back and everything like that, that ship is way better than anything in Dune. And that's a B- property for Star Wars. Dune fans, Dune fanatics that say that Dune is better than Star Wars in every way, not ship design. Never ship design.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you like Dune 2 better than Dune 1?
I did immediately. Like, as soon as I finished it, I was like, absolutely. And then I thought about it, and then I was thinking about how much better Dune 2 makes Dune 1. And I think when I rewatch them both, which may be soon because I did enjoy them so much, I probably think I like Dune 1 more.
That's such weird logic.
Why?
To use another movie to make you like the first movie better because you like the second movie so much, but you still are going to say you like the first one more. You only like the first one because of how good the second one was, but because of how good the second one was, you like the first one even more than the second one now. I just think that's weird.
Okay, I now understand what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts, but has there ever been like a later episode in a TV series that makes you like an older episode in a TV series like way more, even though at the moment you were liking that later episode? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I feel
get
like
it.
There are later episodes of Avatar that make me like the storm more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I get that to a certain extent, but I don't.
It's not even here. It's like this, okay? When I first watched Dune 2, I immediately thought I clearly like this better than the first one, okay? But my initial thought was, wow, this makes Dune 1 way better for me, right? That was my initial thought, but I still like Dune 2 more. And then since then, which it's been a couple of days since I've seen Dune 2, since then, the more it sit with me, the more the problems I have with Dune 2 come up, especially with the ending. And my problem with Dune 1, my only problem with Dune 1 is that it's boring for an hour. When, like, Dune 1 has so much stuff I love. I love everything with the father-son situation. I love everything with Duncan Idaho, my goat. Like, there's stuff in Dune 1 that I just adore. There's stuff in Dune 2 that I adore. But there's more problems I have with Dune 2.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely like Dune 2. But I've only seen them both once, so.
The start of Dune 2 was so meandering to me. Were you sitting in the cinema in the first 15 minutes going like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best movie of all time?
No.
Because people were saying that.
No, but
and I just completely disagree.
I mean, I sat down, like, buckled in, knowing what I was about to get. Like, I was like, this is going to be long, and this is going to be heavy and dense, and my mom is with me, and good luck to her. She hasn't even seen the first one. She's going to have no idea what the frick's going on. So I went in knowing that it might be slow and there might be parts of it like that. So like the first part where it was like that, I was like, I just kind of expected it, I guess. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
I loved it.
I felt like this was a positivity episode. The fan questions were a lot of fun.
Yep.
We both like Skeleton Crew. We agreed on that. We agreed a lot on our Dreamworks
list. It
we
was
agreed
like a
on this.
positivity episode. But I've finally seen Dune 1 and Dune 2. I like them both better than Interstellar. As of right now, my ranking for Timothée Chalamet movies is...
I'm done.
Dune 1 and 2 are fighting for first place, and then clearly third place is Interstellar.
I just said it was and you've pissed me off.
What should my next Timothée Chalamet movie be?
I don't care.
Maybe Interstellar again?
Maybe.